All right, hey folks, time for a quick update on the storm system. We're nearing the tail end of our storm as the snow starts to wind down over the next several hours. We're seeing rain at the coastline. Many areas are seeing a changeover to some sleet across the area as well. And over the interior, we're cold enough to support freezing or frozen precipitation. So it's been a little bit of a fun storm to track, a quick moving storm system, and those totals range from about 1.5 inches up to 6 inches of snow so far. So let's take a look at what we have on the maps right now as far as snowfall totals go. North Sebago might come in with a report of about 5 inches of snow. Still snowing there. In Sanford, 4 inches. Alfred, 3 inches. North Conway, 6 inches there. Also got a report from Madison, New Hampshire of 6 inches. That's that bullseye we were talking about last night. A few spots on the eastern side of the Whites and also into the western mountains of Maine that will get a little bit over 6 inches of snow. In Augusta, Kathy's reporting about 2.5 inches. Chris in Westport Island so far is up to about 2.1 inches. She's seen that changeover there as well. Let's take a look at what the storm's doing right now. A few things worthy of note. We're seeing the back edge of some of that precipitation. Some drier air is starting to filter in. So we have probably about 3 more hours of steady precip, but it will start to lighten up over the next 3 hours as well. We have changed over to plain rain in Portland. We're at 36 degrees at last check, 7 o'clock. Down into coastal York County, coastal Cumberland County. Yeah, it's plain old rain at this point. But sleet has been very common over the interior. Let's see if we can get this up right here. In the interior, at least in southern parts of Maine. Notice those brighter yellows right there. This is a graphic I usually don't show on television. But this is what we call correlation coefficient. It's a product by the National Weather Service in gray, their radar product. And what you're doing, and when you see the brighter shades of yellow, that's where you're seeing what we call lower correlation coefficient values. So what the radar is seeing is the same value in areas in red, which is basically snowflakes, and then it sees a different value, a lower value being the areas in yellow, and that is sleet. So we're seeing some sleet for a large portion of southern Maine. It's also worthy of note, though, a large portion of interior parts of Maine, New Hampshire, it's still snowing and at a very good clip while it's raining at the coastline. So that's what we have out there this evening here. Let's go back so we can take a look at that radar one more time. So it is snowing right now back through Lewis and Auburn. Augusta's reporting snow as well. Freiburg going back through the Oxford Hills. These areas will get several more hours of snow. And the jackpot so far as accumulations go, have been in this area right here. We've had a lot of reports of between 4 and 6 inches of snowfall. So there'll be some spots around 7, maybe some 8s in that region. You can make out the coastal front. This is kind of fun to watch as a weather enthusiast. It's always fun to kind of see these develop here. Basically, what's happening, you have a wind off the ocean, so we're a little bit warmer at the immediate coast. So that's what we call a coastal front. Compare Portland at 36 to Lewis and Auburn at 19 degrees. So I just took a little walk outside earlier, and it was a very fluffy snowfall. I should say it's a very pasty snowfall, but it's a very fluffy snowfall for some inland towns. So it all depends on where you are. Let's take a look now at what we have for totals here. This seems to be pretty much on track for what we were thinking. About 1 to 3 inches at the immediate coast. We've seen that change over to rain. You had even 5-10 miles inland. A solid 2 to 4 will do it. But you get back to Sebago Lake, Lewis and Auburn, Augusta. A widespread 3 to 6, might be a few spots to get up over 6 inches, but this is that jackpot we've been trying to highlight for a few days. Right in here, from Madison to Conway to Freiburg, even over toward the west side of Sebago Lake, might be some spots here that get over 6 inches of snow. We'll have to see if some of these verify as well up into the western mountains of Maine. So little pockets might get over 6 inches there. So we're going to range from about 1.5 inches for some coastal areas up to a little over a half foot for some areas in the mountains. So kind of an interesting and fun little storm system to track. And I'll tell you, the kids love this stuff. Kids are on vacation, skiing and snowboarding tomorrow. Wow, it's going to be awesome. Some of the ski resorts getting some beneficial snowfall out of this one. All right, you might be wondering when the back edge moves out. Well, we're starting to see some drier air filtering. We still have a few more hours, though, to go here until about midnight, but it will lighten up before then, and some drier air, my guess, will start to filter in around 10 o'clock. So you'll start to notice that the precip will be lightening up in intensity. Areas that even end as snow, or at least have snow over the next few hours, may end as a period of freezing drizzle to end this one out. around midnight or so. So there it is, where storm system pulls away. Tomorrow will be a sunny day. The wind picks up out of the northwest. And the only fly in the ointment tomorrow, the only complaint might be that wind. We're going to get gusts over 30 miles per hour. So tomorrow looks to be a nice bright day, but it's going to be windy. All right, the storm tracker seems to have a decent handle on this. This is about 9 o'clock tonight. Notice we have rain at the immediate coast, maybe a little bit of sleet, 15, 20 miles inland. But I still think from the west and north side of Sebago Lake up through Lewiston, Auburn, Augusta, Waterville, going back to the Route 2 corridor, Western Mountains of Maine, White Mountains of New Hampshire, still snowing in these areas. But the drier air is starting to move in already. So that drier air starts to move in New Hampshire, probably around 8, 9 o'clock. It starts to move in into portions of Maine, probably around 10 o'clock tonight. So there it is, 11 o'clock. The back edge of most of the precipitation is starting to shift off to the east. Still wouldn't be shocked to see maybe some freezing drizzle around this time frame here. If you're plowing or if you're just trying to figure out when to get out and clean things up, I think around midnight, you're in good shape here. We'll see the last flakes moving out around that time. And yeah, we'll get a chance to clean things up into the morning. Tomorrow, the commute looks a lot better tomorrow as long as things are cleaned up. Temps will be in the 20s to near 30 with some sun returning. The wind will be active throughout the day tomorrow. We should have highs in the 30s. And if you really want to get things cleaned up before the real cold arrives, tomorrow you get a chance to do that because tomorrow night it will get quite a bit colder. All right, let's talk about this little meso low. You see it right in here forming along basically the coastal front right in here. So that's keeping an onshore wind for areas that have temps in the 30s. But farther inland here, we've had a pretty cool drainage of air coming right out of the northeast. And this happens a lot. And that has been the case. That's why it's quite a bit colder over inland towns, while at the coastline we're in the 30s. And that all goes out the window after midnight tonight. So the wind will be shifting over to the west. Drier air will be filtering in area wide here. So that's my attempt at an arrow. That's not a good arrow, is it? Let's try this. There we go. That's a little bit better. So the west wind will start to kick in, meaning the winds come out of the west. And then the winds will be gusty tomorrow. We're looking at gusts 20 to 30 miles per hour throughout pretty much the entire day. So that will be the complaint tomorrow, the wind. It'll be a nice day. If I had the day off, I would go skiing tomorrow. I know we have school vacation. There might be some longer lift lines, but hey, you'll be treated to a half foot of new snow. In some cases, maybe a little over a half foot of new snow. So this is exciting to see. All right, 7-day forecast. It looks as if we're going to be seeing some colder air start to move in. That's not what I want to do. That's what you want to do. So a lot of sun returns to the forecast. Low 20s on Thursday, mid 20s on Friday, lows around 0 Friday. That's even at the coast. But if you like a warm-up, you're really going to like Saturday and more so Sunday. I think Sunday is going to be a great day. Sunny skies that day. Milder conditions return. We're back in the 40s. And the next disturbance will probably arrive on Monday. I don't think it's a big storm. And we'll have to see if it tracks right. There's a lot of forecast model guidance suggesting the whole thing might go south of us. But if it tracks right, we could be looking at a little bit of rain and or mix, perhaps some snow. And that would be late Monday night, and into early Tuesday. Right now, I do not think that is a big storm. This is Jen, everyone. Say hi, Jen.
Hey, everybody.
Jen's over here. I think she left her water bottle out here.
I did.
I typically get the studio all to myself at night. And it's always a treat when somebody comes and visits. So we'll go back to the newsroom a little bit later. But I hope I answered all your questions here. I hope everything is going well with this storm. Still, of course, slippery travel. I know it's very slippery coming into the office this afternoon right around 3 o'clock. Just drive slow. You'll be in good shape. All right, let's see what folks are saying on the Facebook Live. First, thanks for joining us on Facebook Live and on YouTube as well. John says, the storm is incredible near Auburn. Holy cow. Yeah, I mean, you have some solid bands of snow in Lewiston, Auburn. Thanks for checking in, John. I'd love to see how much snow you end up with there. I have not had a report from Lewiston, Auburn yet. I would love to get a report from them. My guess is around 4 inches or so. Hello from Florida, Kathy says. Hello. Oh, boy, that sounds nice. Florida, I bet you're enjoying some humidity, swatting mosquitoes. I don't know. It's funny the little things you miss sometimes. Still snowing here in Peru. Thank you, Tina. Appreciate that. Sanford is snowing. That's important because I was wondering what's happening in Sanford. Thanks, Jennifer. At last check, we had about 4 inches in Leamington. That's helpful, Travis. Thanks, buddy. Come on, no more snow, please, Diane says. Yeah, and it's February. It's mid-February. You know what's going to happen? It's going to probably snow a lot in March. Oh, March is the tricky month. March is quickly turning into one of my favorite months, though. I love March. The sun angle's high. It feels good. I don't know, later, longer days. I don't know. I like March a lot. I shoveled 3, says Kathy, and that is in Naples. That sounds about right. Thanks, Kathy. Appreciate it. Heavy snow in Bath, Michael says. Appreciate that. When's it going to end in Augusta? Midnight, 1 o'clock or so. A little bit later across central Maine, Portland area. It's probably gone by 11, 12. I had a snow blow 3 times already, Travis says. Yeah, one of those. Heavier snow in some areas, fluffier snow in others. What a difference a few miles make. Yeah, it's pretty awesome to see that, right, Tina? We have about 1.5 inches here at the coast, and some areas are looking at a ½ foot over the interior. I always enjoy storms like this. Waterboro is still snowing, and Emily says, yeah, thank you very much. Michael says West Bath. Yeah, West Bath, I would imagine you get a little bit of mix moving in. Got a report from Westport Island of some mixing already occurring there. Still snowing in Buxton. Appreciate that. Shauna says, thank you very much. Raining in Southport for hours. Yep, there's that rain. Thanks for the report, guys. Moving to Texas again, getting more in my mind with every storm. Kathy says. All right, Mark says about 2.5 inches so far in Fairfield. Appreciate that, Mark. I get a report of about 2.5 inches in Augusta as well, so that lines up quite nicely with our weather watchers reporting there. Hello from Alaska, watching the totals for my Dixfield house, Cindy says. Ooh, Alaska sounds nice. I bet it's been a fun winter up there. It's been cold for a while, but here it's starting to warm up a little bit. Let's see, Kathy says, ask myself every winter why I moved back to Maine. Oh boy, still snowing in Interville, New Hampshire. 8 inches so far. All right, that is great. Thank you, Jen. That's in that bullseye. We were thinking 6+, Interville, from that's just north of North Conway, Bartlett, Glen area, right mixed in there. So yeah, 8 inches. That's encouraging to hear. Over 5 inches in Naples. Yep. All right. Thanks, Mindy. Appreciate that. You guys are doing a great job with these questions and reports. This is very useful. Freezing rain in Sanford right now, Linda says. All right, 2 reports from Sanford. Thanks, Linda. Temps in Alaska in the 40s. Yeah, I knew it's been warming up there. When it warms up in Alaska, it cools off here in New England. So remember that. You remember that? What was it? The Olympics. Remember in British Columbia a few years ago? Several years ago now. Remember how cold it was in New England, and they were trucking snow into Whistler, Blackcomb. So when it gets warm in Alaska, it gets cold in the eastern half of the United States. So let's see how March plans shakes up around here. Let's see, any more questions? Wow, you guys are doing a great job. Still snowing in Gardner. More than 2 inches out here. Thanks, Shannon. Appreciate that. Snowing in Naples, coming down good still. All right. Thanks, guys. All right, so let's just go back real quick. I know thanks. A lot of you folks have been nice enough to send in your reports. And if you're joining us on Facebook Live, a little late in the game right here, we'll just kind of run through the weather maps real quickly. Again, there's that rain that's occurring at the coast, a little bit of sleet over the interior. You got some reports of some, was it freezing rain in Sanford? That sounds about right. And farther north and inland you go, areas in blue. That's where it's staying. Some snowfall there. And I was happy to see that report of 8 inches in Interville, because that is right in the bullseye of that area we're thinking would get over 6 inches. So I couldn't fit the text in here. So we're thinking 6+ in these little bubbles right here. So Interville is right about here. And we're getting a lot of reports of around 6 inches of snow in that area already. So areas in 3 to 6, yeah, you're going to be in the upper end of that. Yeah, there's a lot of spots around 5 inches already. And, Jetport's reporting around 2 inches. I was outside the studio. It's compacted so much with the rain. We might have 1 inch of snow on the ground at our studio, 1.5 inches maybe. So it's not a huge deal at the coast where the rain has kicked in. But you head 5-10 miles inland, much different scenario there. All right. I think that's going to do it for tonight's Facebook Live. I really appreciate everybody checking in and with your questions and everything. And I have gone on way too long and probably wasted enough of your time this evening. But closing in on the 8 o'clock hour, we'll have new updates coming up at 10, Fox 23 at 10, CBS 13, 11. We'll be taking a look at that. And then get ready for some sun. We have many days on the way with brighter skies. All right, thanks for checking in, guys. Take care.